Retired Warrant Officer Lloyd Gitari was in charge of the accounts office in Laikipia Airbase in the 70s and the 80s, when finances were primarily handled in hard cash, way back. In 1982, during the attempted coup, he was among the Kenya Air Force soldiers who were detained and later cleared to resume duties. We leave you with this week's edition of Military Tales. I'm Tom Boya on behalf of the Prime Edition. Thank you for watching. Good night from Nairobi, Kenya. Bye-bye.
We travel to Chogoria in Tharaka Nithi County to meet one retired Kenya Air Force Warrant Officer 1, Lloyd Gitari. Gitari was an airman who retired in the year 2009 and served the Kenya Air Force wing of the Kenya Defence Forces for 35 years. Gitari's journey started in Ikirwe village in Chogoria, where he attended Katharaka Primary School and Kereine Secondary School before joining the Air Force when he was only 20 years old in 1974. After training, Gitari would be posted to the Laikipia Airbase as an accounts clerk.
Mostly my main interest was in teaching, and when I tried, I could not get. It just happened by chance that there was a recruitment, and I enlisted in the Kenya Air Force. I went in the normal military training, and after training I was posted first to Moi Airbase as an accounts clerk, but I went several trainings concerning accounts. Then from there, I was again posted to Laikipia Airbase, where I worked up to the year 1991, and then thereafter went back to Moi Airbase, where I retired.
The 1982 attempted coup that was orchestrated by Air Force officers was his most trying moment, which also led to him being detained until he was cleared.
Those were very trying moments for young soldiers like ourselves. First of all, discharged from the Kenya Air Force Service, and we went to prison for some time. But we went interrogations and all these things, and then we came clean. After that, I still went back to Laikipia Airbase and continued with my work as an account clerk.
After the attempted coup, he would diligently rise through the ranks to become a Warrant Officer 1 in charge of the accounts department at the Laikipia Airbase.
I was promoted to corporal, sergeant, senior sergeant, Warrant Officer 2. Then when I was promoted to Warrant Officer 1, that's the time I went to Moi Airbase, where I was in charge of the account section.
Gitari is quick to note that the military has grown in leaps and bounds, especially in the welfare and morale of soldiers.
Changes have been there. Many changes are there. Welfare of soldiers has gone up. Then also we can say on matters of salary, I think welfare, on side of welfare and those emoluments.
His work in the accounts department was not without challenges, especially when back in the day the technology was still in its infancy. A lot of the finances were handled as hard cash.
There seems to be petty losses of money, or you could meet those members of the junior cadre staff who are not honest. Because these are young soldiers, I was able to cancel either those who went extreme. The commanders were always there. They could give you a hearing.
His advice to young soldiers is to uphold discipline, stay true to country, and have a steadfast commitment to their duties.
There are so many unemployed young men. And now these who have already joined the forces, they have the chance of instilling that discipline, also developing themselves financially and also materially.
Gitari, who was part of the UN peacekeeping mission to Eritrea in 2006, has lauded the passing of the Veterans Act, which will, among others, look into the welfare of veterans.
At least on matters of medical, on matters of other welfare, at least they will be looked into. The welfare of soldiers stands to improve very much.
After his retirement, Gitari is now a community leader and is engaged in numerous community-based projects and is also a fully-fledged farmer.
I am the chairman of the Rakanithi Defoka Defense Forces Old Comrades Association, being selected as a chairman of one of our dispensaries around, the dispensary you have seen around there. In the community, I'm also an area manager in the community.
Away from the military and farming, Gitari enjoys watching movies and also reading.
In fact, I see the best place to relax either to go and check on my tea plantation, just see what needs to be done. Sometimes tend on my cows when my farm worker is not around. And sometimes relax on watching some movies, the news, and that, or going to church.
A family man and a father of 3 sons, he says none of them followed in their father's footsteps.
We were blessed with 3 boys. One is deceased, our firstborn. The other 2, we've got one called Evans Kenywa. He's an actuarist. He works in Nairobi. The other one is also in Nairobi. He's doing some Hasra's job there. He is also a graduate of information technology.
In his closing remarks, he urged Kenyans to love their country and not take for granted the peace enjoyed within the borders, as many neighboring countries are embroiled in civil unrest.
Peace, as I have said, is the only key to survival of the Kenyans. Even if the economy is as hard as it is, without peace, I think peace and discipline are the key. Try and save for tomorrow, and life will be easy. Let us educate our children. Let us keep discipline in whatever we do. And the final thing, don't forget God.
For Military Tales, I'm Bentroy Njue.